A silent signal in the dark. The stars were quiet. Space was cold, wide, and full of silence. But that silence broke one night. At the edge of human space, there was a small listening post called Echo Station 9. It floated in deep space, far from any planet. Only 5 people worked there. They watched for signals, strange sounds, unknown messages, or signs of alien life. Most days, nothing happened. But on this day, Lieutenant Mara Voss heard something strange. A weak signal came through her headset. It was slow, broken, like a whisper coming from very far away. She sat up straight. "Did you hear that?" she asked her partner. "No, probably just static," he said. But Mara didn't think so. She played it again. This time she cleaned the noise. The signal was old and the sound was full of crackles, but something was there, a voice, alien, faint, pleading, "Help us, please, dying." Her heart skipped a beat. She ran to Commander Hale. "Sir, I think I found something. A distress call. Alien." The commander raised an eyebrow. "From who?" "I don't know, but it's old and real." He frowned. "It's probably a ghost signal, nothing important." "But what if it's not?" she asked. "What if someone is still alive?" Hale shook his head. "We don't have time for ghost stories. The Galactic Union says that zone is dead space. No ships go there. Nothing survives there." But Mara couldn't stop thinking about it. That night, when the others were asleep, she studied the signal again. It came from a dark corner of the galaxy, a place called Sector 12X, also known as the Graveyard Zone. Long ago, a great war happened there. Whole races were destroyed. No one visited that place anymore. She searched old records. One name came up again and again. Valari, a peaceful alien race, kind, wise, healers. They vanished after the war. Everyone believed they were extinct. But what if they weren't? What if the signal was from the Valari survivors? Mara made a decision. She sent the data to Earth's Deep Space Command and requested a scout ship to investigate. Her report said, "Possible surviving species, distress signal, immediate help needed." A week passed. She heard nothing. Then, without warning, a small human scout ship called Pathfinder 3 arrived at Echo Station. "Mara Voss?" the captain asked. "We got your message. Command gave us one chance to check it out. You're coming with us." Mara's hands shook. "Me? I'm not a pilot." "You found the signal. You're the only one who believes it. Let's find out the truth." The ship flew through space, past glowing stars and silent voids. As they entered Sector 12X, the stars seemed dimmer. The silence grew thicker. The air felt colder. Then, nothing. No signals. No ships. Just a dead world floating. Below, it was a broken planet, cracked and dry, burned cities, ruined towers, empty skies. But as Pathfinder 3 moved closer, something changed. The signal returned, stronger. The same broken voice. "Please. We are still here." Mara's eyes filled with tears. "It's them. They're alive." The captain nodded. "We'll scan the surface, send drones." The drones flew down. They showed images of the planet. Most of it was destroyed. But deep under the ground, movement, shadows, hidden tunnels, faint energy readings. "There are life signs," the science officer said. "Not many, weak, but real." Then, everything went black. All screens shut down. The ship stopped. "EMP blast," the engineer shouted. "We're hit." "What hit us?" the captain asked. No ship, no weapon. Something on the planet reacted. Panic spread. Lights blinked. The ship floated, dead and blind. For hours they waited. Then, power returned. One screen turned on. A single message showed up. "Do not come back." The crew was shaken. The captain ordered retreat. Back at Echo Station, they gave their report. The commander stared at the message. "You found survivors, and someone warned you off." "Who?" "We don't know," Mara said. "But Someone is hiding them or hunting them. Command didn't reply. Days passed. Then a new message arrived from Earth. Do not investigate further. The matter is closed. But Mara couldn't stop thinking about the voice. Help us, please. Dying. She knew the truth. The Valari were not dead. They were alive. Hiding and scared. Someone didn't want them to be found. But Mara had seen them, and Earth had heard their cry. The galaxy had forgotten them, but humanity hadn't. And humanity was about to act. The Forgotten Planet. The report was buried. Earth Command quietly closed the file on the Valari signal. No public news. No follow-up. Mission. It was like nothing ever happened, but Mara Voss couldn't forget. Every night she played the message again, the broken voice crying out in fear, in pain. She had seen the signs. Life. Movement. A warning. Someone wanted the Valari to stay lost. Why? 2 weeks later, a new ship arrived at Echo Station 9. Its name, Vigilant Star. Larger. Armed. Secret orders. Mara was called into a private meeting with Captain Elric Dane, a cold, serious man from Earth Intelligence. He placed a sealed datapad on the table. Lieutenant Voss, what you found wasn't just a lost species. It was a ghost from a war no one wants to remember. Mara frowned. The Valari? Captain Dane nodded slowly. They were healers. Peaceful, but too curious. They learned things they weren't supposed to. They stood against something powerful, and they paid the price. Who destroyed them? Mara asked. Dane paused. That information is classified. What matters is this. They were erased. Not by accident. He leaned in. And now you've found survivors. That makes you a problem. Her heart froze. Are you threatening me? No, Dane said. I'm inviting you. He tapped the datapad. You're being reassigned. You're coming with us to the planet. This time, off the record. The Vigilant Star entered Sector 12X under stealth mode. No beacon. No contact with command. Mara stood on the bridge staring at the ruined planet. It looked worse now, like a grave under endless dust. The captain turned to her. We're going, in, but if anything happens we leave fast, no heroics, understood? She nodded, but inside her mind was racing. Why go back if they were ordered to stop? What was Dane really after? The landing was rough. The ship touched down near the ancient Valari ruins. Cracked towers reached toward the sky like broken bones. The air was dry, silent, empty. The team moved carefully. 10 soldiers, 1 scientist, and Mara. They entered a half-collapsed temple. Inside they found carvings, symbols of light, healing, peace, but also fire, destruction, ships raining death from above. It's a warning, the scientist whispered. The Valari recorded their end. Then, from behind a stone wall, they heard it, a cough. Weapons rose, lights flashed, and then they saw it. A child. Thin, pale, blue-gray skin, glowing eyes. Scared, a Valari survivor. It ran. Don't shoot, Mara yelled, chasing after the child. She followed it through tunnels, twisting paths under the ruins. The air grew thick, dark. But then, she reached a hidden chamber. There were dozens of them, children, old ones, wounded, sick, all Valari. They stared at her, afraid but not moving. She dropped her weapon, took off her helmet. I'm Mara. I came to help, she said softly. An elder stepped forward. His voice was rough but kind. Too late. The others will come. They always do. She frowned. Others? Who? The elder didn't answer, but then the wall shook. Explosions echoed from above. Mara's radio came to life. We're under attack. Ships just dropped from orbit. We don't know who they are. Get out. She looked at the elder. Come with me. We can protect you. He placed a hand on her arm. No, you must go. If they find us, all hope is lost. But you'll die. The elder looked her in the eyes. Then let our story live through you. Let them know we were here. She didn't want to leave. But the ceiling cracked. Smoke filled the tunnel. She ran. Back to the surface. Back to the vigilant star. The ship was damaged, but flying. Dane pulled her aboard as it lifted off. What the hell happened down there? He shouted. Mara looked back at the burning ruins. We found them. He stared at her. Did they come with you? She shook her head. They stayed. To hide. Dane said nothing for a long moment. Then he turned away. Send a message to Earth. Mark the planet as quarantine zone. No further visits. Mara's voice hardened. No, we can't turn away. Dane looked at her. You want to die for them? She answered softly. No. I want them to live. As the ship left the planet behind, Mara made a secret copy of all scans, images, and recordings. The Valari weren't ghosts anymore. They were real, they were alive, and someone still wanted them gone. But now, humanity knew, and humanity never turned its back on those who asked for help. Buried lies. The return from Valari space should have been a moment of truth. Instead, it was buried. Captain Dane gave a short, cold report to Earth Command. No intelligent life detected. Planet remains uninhabited. Mission complete. That was a lie. But Mara Voss had kept her truth safe. She made secret copies of the scans, the footage, the voices of the Valari survivors. She hid them on a private data chip, sealed deep inside her uniform. She didn't trust anyone now, not even her own command. Something was very wrong. Someone powerful didn't want the Valari to be found. A week later, Mara stood in a gray meeting. Room on Earth, a room without windows, just one table, one chair. And across from her, Admiral Lynn Tarek, head of Human Union Affairs. He looked tired. Older than she remembered. You filed a second report, he said. One that contradicts Captain Dane's. Mara nodded. Because Dane lied. There are survivors. I saw them, I spoke to them. Tarek sighed. Do you know how dangerous this is? Yes, she said. That's why I'm here. He leaned back. You don't understand the politics, Lieutenant. The Valari are a forbidden name in the Galactic Union. Helping them is a violation of old treaties. Old treaties made to hide a crime, she snapped. He paused. You're right. That surprised her. Tarek stood up and turned to the wall. A small panel slid open. Inside was an old file, yellowed physical paper. He dropped it on the table. Top secret, Union-level clearance only. Project Silence the Flame. She opened it slowly. What she saw made her stomach twist. Photos of Valari cities being bombed. Drones recording families running. Warships with unknown markings. No flags, no names. It wasn't war, Tarek said quietly. It was erasure. The Valari discovered something during the last galactic cycle. Something about a powerful alien race. One the Union couldn't control. When the Valari tried to speak out, they were marked as dangerous. By who? She asked. No one knows. Or maybe no one dares to say it out loud. But those same ships, the ones that burned their world, are still out there. Mara felt cold. And now that we've found the survivors, they may come back, Tarek finished. To finish the job. She stared at him. We have to help them. We can't just let them die. He looked at her tired eyes full of weight. If we help them, we risk war with the Union, and maybe with something worse. But Mara was firm. Earth was once alone too. Forgotten. Weak. We fought for our place. If we don't help them, then we're no better than those who tried to erase them. Tarek was silent. Then, finally, he nodded. I'll give you one ship. Off the records. You choose your crew. You go back, but if anyone asks, we never spoke. 1 week later, the Starblade, a stealth-class cruiser, left Earth space. Aboard were hand-picked volunteers, pilots, medics, engineers, not soldiers, not warriors, Helpers. Mara led them. This wasn't war, it was rescue. But deep in the shadows of the galaxy, something else had awakened. On a hidden world far from any star, a silent fleet powered up. Dark ships with sharp wings. No names, no colors. Inside, alien voices spoke. The Valari light has returned. The humans interfere. Again. They must be reminded of why the stars fear us. Back aboard the Starblade, Mara stared at the stars ahead. They looked peaceful, but she knew the truth now. The galaxy was full of buried lies, and the truth could get you killed. But some lies had to be broken, because the Valari weren't dead, and humanity? Humanity had just started to fight for them. The last children of Valor, the ship moved in silence. The Starblade crossed deep space under stealth mode, engines whispering like ghosts. No signals, no lights. Not even Earth Command knew their exact path. Mara Voss stood at the observation window watching the stars pass. This was not a rescue mission anymore. It was something bigger. They reached the ruined Valari world again. Once, called Valor Prime. This time they didn't land near the ruins. Instead, they used underground scans. The sensors found strange energy readings, old but alive, deep beneath the planet's crust. Mara turned to her crew. They're still down there. We go quiet, fast, and with care. We're not here to scare them. The Starblade dropped 3 landing pods. Small teams moved out in silence. Mara led the first. They entered through a hidden cave, half covered in stone. Inside was a long tunnel. Cold, dusty, carved with ancient symbols glowing faint blue. As they walked, they heard it. A voice. Soft. Singing. It was not human. They reached a large chamber lit by glowing crystals. Inside, they saw them. Valari survivors. Not just sick or wounded, but children. Dozens of them. Some played with glowing spheres. Some rested in nests of soft light. At the center stood an old Valari female. Tall, graceful, eyes glowing silver. She stepped forward, speaking through a translator. Stone, you came back, but why? We told you the stars are dangerous. Mara bowed slightly. Because no one else would come. We remember what others forgot. The elder studied her. And now you carry danger with you. What do you mean? Mara asked. The elder turned to the wall. With one hand she touched a crystal. A hologram filled the air, a map of the stars. One part blinked red. Mara gasped. That's not us, she whispered. That's a ship, following us. The elder nodded. They followed your heat trail. Even in silence they smell hope. Mara clenched her jaw. We need to move you. The elder smiled sadly. We cannot leave. The young ones are bonded to this place. If we break the bond, they will die. Mara looked at the children, so small, so fragile. Then the elder took Mara's hand and placed a glowing orb in her palm, lit up with a pulse like a heartbeat. This holds the knowledge of our kind, all we were, all we knew. If we die, this must live. Mara held it tight. You won't die. I'll protect this. And you. But then the lights dimmed. A sound echoed through the tunnels. Metal scraping. Footsteps. A scout ran into the chamber, eyes wide. Unmarked soldiers inside the caves, they're coming. The elder closed her eyes. It is too late. Mara turned to her team. Form a shield wall. Don't fire unless I say. We protect the young. Laser lights flashed at the far end of the tunnel. Shadows moved. The enemy stepped into view. Humanoid, but wrong. Faces hidden. Armor black. No flag. No voice. Their leader raised a hand. But before he could speak, a voice echoed from behind them. Enough. Everyone turned. A young Valari child stood near the crystal wall, eyes glowing bright blue. The ground shook beneath him. The child spoke, a word no human understood. The attackers froze. Then the crystal walls exploded with light. The cave shook. Mara shielded the children with her body. Her ears rang. Her vision blurred. When the light faded, the attackers were gone. Only dust remained. The elder gasped. He awakened. Too early. Mara looked at the child. He had collapsed, breathing hard. "What was that?" she asked. The elder's voice trembled. "He is the last-born child of the High Flame. He carries the ancient spark." Mara's mind raced. "You mean a weapon?" The elder nodded. "No. A light so bright, it scares the dark." Later that night, as they prepared defenses, Mara stood outside the caves holding the glowing orb. She knew now. This wasn't just a rescue. This was a beginning. The Volari weren't just survivors. They were the last keepers of something powerful, and now that power was awake, but so were the shadows. And the galaxy? The galaxy was watching. They came from the shadows. The sky turned black. Not from nightfall, but from ships. Dark, silent, countless. They floated above Valar Prime, like vultures above a dying world. Inside the hidden caves, Mara Voss stood beside the young Volari child, who had unleashed the energy wave. He was still unconscious, glowing faintly. The elder Volari whispered, "They've found us." The shadows return. Mara's comm unit crackled. "This is Captain Lin from the Starblade. Dozens of unknown vessels just entered orbit. We're tracking their descent. They're coming fast." Mara clenched her jaw. "We don't have time to run." Above the planet, the dark ships began to move. No warnings, no signals. They simply opened fire. Energy blasts rained down on the planet, but instead of striking the caves, they hit empty ground. The Starblade's stealth decoys were working. For now. Inside the cave, panic spread among the Volari. Children cried. Crystals flickered. The elder gathered the young ones close and looked at Mara. "You must leave. If they capture you, they'll know everything." Mara shook her head. "I'm not leaving. Not this time." But the elder looked at her, eyes full of sorrow. "Then prepare yourself. The shadows do not talk, they do not think, they only destroy." Suddenly, a tremor shook the chamber. Dust fell from the ceiling. A part of the tunnel collapsed. And then they heard footsteps. Mara's team raised their weapons. From the dark came figures, not soldiers, not alive. They were machines, humanoid but made of black metal. Their faces were smooth, featureless. Their movements were unnatural, like spiders. They marched forward in perfect silence. One stepped into the light, its chest opened, revealing a core of swirling dark energy. It wasn't powered by tech. It was something older, something alien. The elder gasped. Ancients. From the great silence. We believed them myths. Mara didn't wait. She gave a sharp order. "Fire!" Lasers lit the cave, but they barely scratched the machines. One soldier screamed as he was grabbed and thrown into a wall. Another fell, crushed by a single blow. "We can't stop them," someone shouted. Mara turned to the elder. "How did the Volari fight them before?" The elder hesitated. "We didn't. We ran." Suddenly, a bright blue glow filled the chamber. The child was standing again, his hands raised, eyes like stars. He spoke one word. The machines froze. Their bodies shook, metal bending, warping. And then, they exploded into light. Everyone ducked as shockwaves raced through the cave. When the dust cleared, only silence remained. The boy collapsed. Again. This time the elder caught him. Mara rushed forward, kneeling beside them. "Is he okay?" The elder nodded. "He is burning too fast, but his power, it is growing." She looked Mara in the eye. "He is not just a child. He is a key, a beacon. If they capture him, they will unlock what they lost ages ago." Mara stood. Her voice was calm but strong. "Then we protect him, at any cost." Above the planet, the enemy ships began to change formation. They had scanned the energy spike. They knew the child was alive. And now, they were coming for him. Not to kill, but to take. Aboard the Starblade, Captain Lin made the call. We hold position. No retreat. This isn't just a rescue mission anymore. This is Earth stand. And in the darkness above, one of the shadow fleets sent a message for the first time. No language, just a symbol, an eye, watching, waiting. Mara stared at it on the screen and whispered, "They're not just after the Valari, they're warning us. We're next. Earth will not look away." Back on Earth, the stars were peaceful. But peace was a lie. Inside a hidden chamber beneath Earth Command headquarters, the most powerful leaders of humanity watched the enemy fleet above Valar Prime. The black ships, the bull, eye symbol, the energy blast from the Valari child, and now, an ultimatum: surrender the child or face cleansing. The message was clear. Humanity had a choice: stay quiet or stand and fight. General Vora slammed her hand on the table. "This is madness. The Valari are a dying species. We can't risk Earth for ghosts." Others nodded, but Admiral Lin Tarek stood slowly. His voice was calm. "We were ghosts once. Broken, forgotten, left behind by the galaxy. But we survived. We climbed out of darkness. Just like them." He looked around the room. "If we abandon them now, then everything we became means nothing." There was silence. Then the vote was cast, and Earth chose to rise. The message went out across every fleet, every colony, every moon station. All available warships, form Battle Group Omega. Destination, Valar Prime. This is not an invasion. This is a shield. The largest human armada since the Solar Wars moved at once. Dozens of ships, thousands of soldiers. Earth had spoken. It would not look away. Back on Valar Prime, Mara Voss stared at the sky. The black ships were getting closer. Landing. Troops now. She had set up defenses with her small team. Old plasma turrets, sensor mines, anything they could find in the ruined Valari tech. But she knew it wouldn't be enough. The young Valari child, Kyle, rested in a glowing pod, recovering. His power had saved them once, but now he was weak, and the shadows were closing in. She looked at the elder. "Can you move the children?" The elder shook her head. "They are too young, too connected to this place." Mara nodded. "Then we hold the line here." Suddenly the cave sensors pinged. Enemy units incoming. Over 100. Ground. Forces, machines, fast, no communication, no hesitation. "Positions!" Mara shouted. She stood in the front line with a plasma rifle. Her team was tired, wounded, but ready. If this was where they fell, they would fall protecting life. The sound of metal footsteps grew louder. Then, boom, the ground shook, but it wasn't enemy fire. It was something else. From the sky came light. Human ships. Dozens. Firing from orbit, dropping support units, air drones, shield towers. The first wave of enemy machines was vaporized. The others turned to retreat, but Earth's fighters chased them down. Mara's eyes filled with tears. They came. Humanity came. Above her, a message played across all comms. "To those hiding in the dark, this is Earth. We remember the forgotten. We defend the weak. We do not run. This world is under human protection now." The elder Valari stepped beside her. "You are strange, for a species born in fire." Mara smiled. "We've been burned before. That's how we learned to fight." But far above them, beyond even the Black Fleet, something watched. Not a machine. Not a ship. A presence. Old. Cold. Thinking. It had not moved in centuries. But now, it stirred, because something had changed. Humanity did not run. They did not kneel. They stood between the dark and the light. And now, they were in the way. The flame that wouldn't die space was on fire. Human ships clashed with black machines, above Valar Prime. Lasers tore through the darkness. Fighters danced between blasts. The sky screamed, but the real war was below. On the ground, Mara Voss led her team through the ruined tunnels, defending the last Valari children. The ancient enemy had come in full force, wave after wave of soulless machines, each stronger than the last. And now, the last wave had arrived. Not machines, not ships, but something older, something alive. A shadow being stepped into the main cavern. It didn't speak. It didn't blink. Its body moved like smoke, shaped like a man, but wrong. Kyle, the young Valari child, stood before it. His glow flickered. The being raised one hand and the lights in the cave dimmed. The elder whispered, "That is one of the ancient ones, a mind of the void, a god of silence." Mara raised her weapon, but the elder stopped her. "Bullets won't save us now." Kyle stepped forward, weak, but standing. His eyes met the shadow, and he remembered. He saw images no child should see, of his people, burned. By these monsters, their minds erased, their stars silenced. But he also saw Earth. He saw Mara standing between him and the dark. He saw the humans bleeding, fighting, refusing to give up, and inside him, something sparked, not just Valari power, something new, something human. The ancient raised its hand to strike, but Kale whispered a word. The glow around him burst into blue fire. It reached Mara, then her team, then the entire cave. One by one, human and Valari alike were surrounded in the same light. Together, one flame. The shadow paused. For the first time it hesitated. Kyle stepped forward, and his voice echoed like thunder. "We are not broken. We are not forgotten. We are not alone." He raised both hands and unleashed the flame. The light tore through the shadow like a blade of truth. It screamed, not in pain, but in fear, because it had seen this light before. Long ago, before time. The light that could end it. It tried to flee, but the flame chased it up through the tunnels, through the sky, across the stars, until it was gone. Silence returned, but this time it was peaceful. Days later, Valar Prime stood quiet again. The black ships were gone. The remaining machines shut down. Kyle now walked freely. His glow was soft, but steady. He was not just a Valari child anymore. He was the first of something new. Mara sat beside him on a cliff overlooking the old ruins. He looked up at her. "Will they come back?" She nodded. "Maybe. Probably. But we'll be ready." Kale smiled. "I'm not afraid anymore." Mara ruffled his hair. "Good. Fear is loud. But hope? Hope whispers." He looked at the stars. "So, what now?" She smiled, standing. "Now we rebuild." Back on Earth, news spread fast. The galaxy had watched, and it had seen something it never expected. Not a war, not a weapon, but a partnership. Dead race and a fierce one, standing together, and lighting a fire no one could put out. A message went out from Earth Command. "To all who hear, if your people are lost, we remember. If your hope is gone, we will carry it. This flame will not die." And somewhere in the dark corners of space, other forgotten species watched. They had been hiding, waiting. But now, they moved. Because Earth had lit the torch. And the galaxy,